Well, hello, my friend, and thank you for joining me as we continue to discover more about the Lord and His ways. And I know last time I said we're finishing up Moses, but I got one more I just have to share with you. It is a picture or portrait of God as our constant guide. And we pick up this story in the wilderness when God chose to manifest Himself in two distinct ways to continually guide the children of Israel through the wilderness. Let's pick it up over in Exodus chapter 40, verse 38, where the Bible says this: "For throughout all their journeys, the cloud of the Lord was on the tabernacle by day, and there was fire in it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel." You know, as you go through that whole story, you discover how the Lord was so faithful that when that cloud and that fire were there at the tabernacle, being still, they stayed right where they were. But then there was a time when it would move. And when the cloud would move, they would move. When the cloud would stay, they would stay. Whether it was 2 days or 2 months, whenever it moved, they moved. Whenever it stayed, they stayed. God was their constant guide. And you know, as I think about that, whether it's daytime or nighttime, the Lord loves to guide you. He loves to speak to your heart. He loves to point you in the right direction. And you know, when people choose to leave church, I know as a pastor for almost 40 years, it was heartbreaking when people would choose to leave the church. And sometimes it was of the Lord. Sometimes, I was suspecting it was of the flesh. But in the bigger picture, I would always just share with them and try to encourage them and those that were also disappointed with me that these folks were leaving us. I'd say, you know, if they feel like their cloud is moving, they need to follow their cloud. And if they feel like their cloud is staying, then they need to stay. But you know, you got to give people elbow room to discern that on their own. My friend, in this COVID era in which we're living, there is more checkerboarded responses to all the different options that are out there about whether to open up or close, how to practice social distancing, whether to wear masks or not, at every level of government, from the federal to the state, to the county, to the city, even down to the churches, even down to the people in the churches. Everyone's going to have a different sensibility about the appropriateness of gathering or not, and how to gather or not. Give each other elbow room to be guided by the Lord, our constant guide. Our journeys are different. We will have disagreements, and it's okay to disagree. Just don't be disagreeable. Because at the end of the day, we're answerable to the Lord in our personal walks. We're to be gracious with one another and love one another, even when we disagree, especially when we disagree. So let's never lose sight of the fact that we need to give people breathing space to let the Lord be their constant guide by day and by night. So until next time, keep listening for those whispers of God, your constant guide.